I'm Chris, and this is That's a Wrap. And today I have a guest. She is a very, very kind and funny woman, and I've known her for a little while. She's a YouTuber, she's a photographer, and I believe here just recently you've been able to watch her learn how to play guitar on her channel. So let's go ahead and bring her in. It's Tina from T. Marie's Place. Hey, Tina, how are you?
Hey, Chris, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, Catherine, thanks for coming in. Sandy.
Yes.
But so how have you been?
Very well. Thank you. Missing my BFF behind you.
Tina?
Yes. The other Tina.
Yes. You know what? I should have had it where it looked like it was going to be you on and then just put a camera on the coconut. Hey, Mar.
That would have been funny.
Just sit there and interview a coconut that's not even speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did I tell you my idea? Hey, Shelly.
Oh.
We are talking about making more and actually selling them.
Wait, you are or Disney is?
No, Margie and I are talking about making more of the cockamole. I made that.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a coconut.
That's a real coconut.
Yeah, hold on.
I thought it was like a real cockamore, like they sold at Disney.
Oh. See, his legs are just a piece of what do you call it? Like construction paper wrapped around and I drew his legs on.
Oh, that's so funny.
He's an actual coconut.
Oh my gosh.
And then I made arms and then hot glued them onto the side.
That's hilarious.
And then
I didn't know that.
The face and everything.
Wow. Okay. That's impressive because I could not tell. Wow.
So we're talking about taking them and instead of doing like this stuff, actually getting like the molding clay.
Yeah.
And some of what do you call it? Like the wiring.
Mm-hmm.
And attaching it so the arms look more realistic. Probably won't be able to give him stand, but we could probably put him in a sitting position or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I made him.
That would be pretty cool.
I shouldn't say him. I should say her, shouldn't I?
That's true.
So, hey, Jonathan, thanks for coming in. Did I miss anybody? No, I think that's it. Chris, I'll buy one. You know, I don't know how much I'll sell them for it right off the bat. We've just been talking about it. But so you've been playing guitar. I've been watching a few of those.
Yes. Just trying to teach myself. So I got this book. I've had my guitar for about 6 years and I just could never stick with it. I never had motivation. Every time it got hard, I would give up. Cargo.
Hey, Cargo.
I have to blow her kisses. Sorry.
Just real quick. I like how she changed it to not Sue.
Not Sue. I couldn't imagine why she did that. But that's hilarious. So I figured, you know what? If I'm gonna pick this guitar back up, I might as well have some accountability. So
right.
Had a channel, might as well utilize it. And so just kind of been taking you guys on my journey of learning how to play. Mondays have become learning how to play from the book that I bought that teaches you how to play the notes, the chords, and rhythm, and there's like 3 different things that it's teaching you. And then on Fridays, I decided, well, I know enough. I know like about 3 or 4 chords now. I could probably learn a song, and so I picked Fleetwood Mac Everywhere, which is my favorite Fleetwood Mac song. And of course, it's one of the hottest songs to play because you got C sharp minor, C minor sharp, so whatever. You got a B in there, but then there's an E, and then there's another note chord that I forget what it is. But I've managed to nail the intro, and I did that on Friday, and I was so excited. It was yesterday. I was so excited, but I'm still not perfect. But we're getting there. So yeah.
I mean, you know what? You learn more from failure than you do from success.
This is true. Quite true.
And the
Yep.
other thing I've noticed, I'm not saying anything about your YouTube channel. I'm talking about some YouTube channels that some people they give up before they even fail. That's one of the things, one of the problems. So I mean, I think a lot of people get into YouTube and they think, oh, it's going to be easy. I'm going to be an instant success. And then you start and you're like, this is just like any other job. You got to work at it to make it into something.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I think it's awesome seeing you play the guitar on there and everything. And I told you that I dabbled with the harmonica and, I've been trying to pick it up, but between trying to work full time and doing everything for YouTube, it's kind of hard to pick up something and do it. It's just so.
Chris, you should just do it on a YouTube stream and take us along with you, and then you'll have an excuse.
I don't think anybody would like that.
If they could come and sit and listen to me pluck away at 6 strings, I'm sure they wouldn't mind a brass or whatever that thing is.
Right. The
notes.
thing is, I think one of the things I learned, like the first when I started, I picked it up. It's been years ago, and started messing with it. So I probably forgot, or forgot all of it from what I learned. But I learned how to play the Wedding March, and I learned how to play taps.
Nice.
And what's funny is that the Wedding March and taps are almost the same, except for you just reverse certain notes. I thought, doesn't that make sense? Because the bride hears the Wedding March where the groom hears taps. So that would.
Somehow I feel like that was done on purpose.
I wonder. I tell you that. I just wonder if it wasn't done on purpose.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
So So where's some of the places you guys have been going there? I see that you guys have been going. Maybe it's been a while, but you guys had gone a few places. You and Flipper.
Oh gosh, we've been. The end of 2021 was a whirlwind in itself, but the end of 2021 was like fireworks. We went to Disney in November, Disney World, came home, literally had Thanksgiving, and then I got a phone call that my grandmother was in the hospital. So we packed up for 3 days, mind you.
Right.
Hightailed it over to Boston. Ended up staying for a month and a half. Jason had to come back here to the house, a 4-hour drive. He was going back and forth to work and everything, so he was able to bring stuff back, more clothes and everything that we needed back to the house.
Right.
And then my grandmother passed away right before Christmas, and
sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Then just stayed for a couple weeks. She left her house to me and my uncle, and just getting things situated of trying to sell it and get everything done. And it's just weird how things happen, because right before, when we got back from Disney, we had made the decision that we were going to move down.
Okay.
And so we were in the process of trying to plan in our heads what does that look like.
Right.
And right after that, like a week later, I got a phone call that she was in the hospital, and I was like, because I always said I don't want to move with her still alive, because then I don't fly, so that's like it's another 18-hour drive all the way back up to go deal with all that stuff, and it's like as soon as we made that decision, it was the weirdest thing. That's when I got the phone call that she was in the hospital on Thanksgiving, and so packed it up, and then a couple weeks later she passed. But and now we're actually able to make that, start the process. We just have to wait for legal things to happen,
right.
On the house side. And that's pretty much what we've been doing with it. It's funny. So talking the guitar, I went a month and a half without practicing or playing. I got back, I did my first string, picked it up, and it was I was better than I was before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. It was like, sometimes you take a step back, and then when you get back into things, it's like, it's your perspective is fresh. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think so. That's literally all I've been up to. Came back here, cleaning out this house, getting rid of things, selling excess. We cleaned up my grandmother's house, and it was like, it really puts the bug inside of you to like, I don't have a huge house, but at the same time, it's like It's not tiny house living, but it really makes me want tiny house living. Like I looking through the kitchen cupboards and I'm like, okay, I have 3 pie plates. Who needs 3 pie plates? Like, who makes 3 pies at a time? I don't ever make 3 pies. Like
Right.
how many baking sheets do I need? It changes your perspective and makes you
Oh yeah.
appreciate, small things. Like when you're a kid and you get 1 toy versus the kid next to you that like gets 10 toys, the appreciation for the kid that has 1 toy is going to be so much greater because he just has that 1 toy to cherish. It's like
Right.
we have all this excess stuff. It's like, forget about it, or it gets lost, in whatever, and goes by the wayside. And
Right.
so yeah, it's been an interesting ending of last year and beginning of this year. So that's what's going on in my world.
Hey Amy. Hey Melik. Adventures. So yeah, I mean, I know where you're coming from. I lost my grandmother just a couple of years ago. And I don't know if because families are different, but for some reason in my family, I was closer to that grandmother than what I was the other grandmother. And I don't know if it's because it was the maternal grandmother instead, if that was it or what. But I mean, the woman, she was like a second mother to me, really. But she was getting to the point where she was so forgetful and everything. And the sad part about it is she basically died alone because we couldn't go see her while she was in the hospital because of COVID and everything like that. Only my mom could go in.
Yeah.
And she kept asking, why isn't anybody coming to see me? Why isn't anybody coming to see me? And so I just, and it hurt me because I called her and she said for me to call back. And I thought, this is probably going to be the last chance I get to talk to my grandmother. And she passed away, and I didn't ever get to tell her I love her or anything like that. So, but
Yeah.
It's hard. I know it's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
but
yeah, no, my grandmother pretty much raised me. She was like my mother, and then I grew up, I didn't know who my father was, so I didn't know that side of my family. And yeah, and someone that close, I've never had someone that close to me pass.
right.
So it's weird, it's,
Oh yeah.
my grandfather died when I was 3, and he's the only memory I have from back then.
Right.
But yeah, she was the closest I had. I mean, I had some of my cousins, pass away that were my mother's cousins, but I was not too close with. But grew up with, we did Christmases together and everything, and then that was obviously hard. But when it's someone who's like your parent, grandparent passes, or
Oh yeah.
it's different. It hits you differently.
Right.
At least for me, it does. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I was one of the fortunate ones. I knew my great grandparents.
Oh wow.
So
That's
yeah.
cool.
So yeah. I remember when they both passed away. I didn't know my on my father's side. I didn't know my great grandfather, but I knew my great grandmother. I did not know my grandfather on my father's side. He passed away when he was like, I'm going to say in his 40s. So
Wow.
yeah. So, but from what I understood, my father said he basically worked himself to death.
Oh my gosh.
Because this town that I live in was everything to that man. He worked on the street or the street department. He was a fireman. He was an EMT, and he was a policeman.
Oh my gosh.
And we got this building uptown called the Kirschbaum Building, and if you could probably find it on YouTube because they say it is haunted and people have gone in there and recorded it. But it came down to, my dad told me the story about my grandfather that they had to put the air conditioning unit on this building. It didn't have one. And you know what an air conditioning unit looks for, like a building, right? So this guy's asking my grandfather, he's like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? He goes, don't worry about it. Just go on home. The guy came back. Somehow my grandfather got that air conditioning unit on top of that building by himself.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, it's just really,
That's
impressive. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because those older generations just knew how to get things done.
Yeah.
Or we're sitting there going, let's YouTube this. How do I do this? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh man. Well, it's just my, from what I understand, my grandfather was like that. He drove a Budweiser truck.
Oh wow.
But then he'd come home and he would just do all these other little fiddle with these doohickeys or do something. He would always be doing something. He just couldn't be sitting still. My grandmother was the same way though. It's like she was, seamstress, then she did this, then she did that, and so it just seems like she was always doing something.
Right.
And now it's just different. Nowadays, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I poke my finger with a needle and I cry. I mean,
Right.
like,
Well, you say they always had to stay busy. But that's how my dad is. My
yeah.
dad is like that. And before he retired, I'm like, Dad, I said, what is your plan for retirement? They said people who don't have a plan when they go into retirement, they fail. He goes, here's my plan. I said, okay. He goes, at 9:00, Gunsmoke comes on. 10:00, there's the Rifleman. I'm like, that's a TV schedule. That's not.
It's like just a good TV schedule, though. I mean, gotta give him a little bit of credit for that one.
So now what he's been doing is he's been sorting through pennies. He's trying to put together sets of pennies with all the different years, with all the different from the different mints, and he's
Wow.
putting them together for the grandkids, a set for each of them.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but he's also what was it? One of my friends moved across the street from him, and my friend's like, Chris, he goes, do you know who the guy is that snow blows everybody's sidewalks? I'm like, that's my dad. I'm like, if you could you talk him to come down and do mine?
Oh my word. Oh, that is so funny.
Oh, and I bet the thing is he goes up to the bank to get more pennies. And my mom's always like, they're going, old man Addington up there at the bank. So
That's so funny though.
Oh,
how
my
can I
dad,
ask how? Yeah.
he's in his 70s.
Oh, he's young.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, he's losing it.
Wow.
I don't mean like he's losing it. Like, I mean, he's losing it.
Oh, but at least he's snow blowing everyone's
Oh yeah.
driveways. So there's
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah. Actually, he made lots of things for my mom and for my wife that had to do with Disney. And one of the things we have is, like those what looks like those gas lamps that people have in their front yard.
Oh yes. Yep.
He removed our top and rewired the way the stuff was, and then he took one of those like globe lights, covers, and then he added 2 small ones.
Yes.
And then he put that all together, and then he redid the lighting and everything. So now we can change the bulbs for like different holidays and everything like that. And we got a Mickey light in the front yard.
That's awesome. That is so cool. I want one of those so bad. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that he does
Immense talent.
But then he calls me up with some of the craziest ideas. He does. He likes the metal detect, and he's like, Chris, I got an idea for us, an invention. Okay, my dad's not a dog lover. All right. Hey, Tommy. He goes, I got this invention. All right. So it's a metal detector that you just hook to your dog and let him walk around in your backyard. And then when it finds something, it just leaves a flag. I'm like, how? I said, Dad, how would we do that? I'm like, how would we? Okay, not a flag. It shocks the dog, so you know where the sound. Like, what the heck?
I definitely thought that's what you were gonna say. It was at least something, all right.
So yeah, he's nuts. You don't know what's gonna come out of his mouth.
Oh my gosh, that's great though. Oh my gosh, I would be nonstop laughing stitches the entire time.
Oh, the guy will be on vacation, whether it be Disney World, Myrtle Beach, or something, and he'll call me up. I'm like, hey, Dad, how's your vacation? Oh, it's great. Hey, let me tell you the story. And he just tells me a joke he just randomly heard. That's all he calls for is just to tell me a joke.
Oh, it's the best though. Oh my gosh, that one got me. Oh man.
So, So, what is one of the songs you have learned here recently that you like playing?
Oh, on the guitar?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Honestly, just so funny thing. Um, I played Amazing Grace like about, I want to say about 5 years ago. I played Amazing Grace at my church.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you how to play it again because it was that one and done deal, and I
Right.
forgot and then didn't pick the guitar back up. I'm sure if I got the chords and played again, it would be familiar, but I was just a hot mess. Like I learned how to play it in like a week, and I was still shaky on it. But the only song that I really learned how to try to play has just been the Fleetwood Mac one. And that's it. Like I can play the E chord, I can play the F chord. The G is pretty easy. It's open. The A minor and the B, which I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how to play it. Those other notes I could. So I'm working on the B, working on the C sharp major, and there was one more chord I was working on. I forget what it is now. But yeah, so it's the ones I'm working on right now is the B and the C sharp major, which are super difficult. But I can't wait to, like, there's easier songs I could have picked to learn how to play first.
Right.
But I love this one. This one, I listen to it daily. It's
Well, I mean,
just
if you love it, you're more likely to try harder to learn it too.
exactly. Well, and just from so Lindsey Buckingham is just a guitar genius, and he plucks away at the strings a certain way that was YouTubing it because that's what we do, right?
Right.
I YouTubed tutorials on how to play it, and they show like an easy way of like just plucking at a couple of notes for the
Right.
beginning, do 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 do, whatever, and I learned how to play that, and it was like it's like the little things that make you feel so good that makes you want to do more. Like it keeps motivating you to keep doing more. So yeah, it's exciting for me.
Are you building the calluses up on your fingers?
I really am, and I'm starting to feel it. Like I know I would feel them more if I practiced every day because I don't practice every day and I should.
Right.
But even now I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, the tips of my fingers feel numb and I can feel the calluses, forming. It's little slow progress, but I feel it, and it's a good feeling for me because it makes me feel like I accomplished something. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mars says, Chris, you need to record your dad. I cherish the memories of hearing my dad's voice. My dad hates to be recorded.
You know what though? You'll look back on it,
Right.
and it'll be like when I was back home in July. I did a stream with my grandmother, and
Right.
I had chat ask her questions, and I had questions to ask her, and so I'll always have that. I don't know if I could ever bring myself to go back and watch that without crying.
Right.
But at least it's there and it's on my YouTube channel. It's just something special.
Right. Right. So, no, I have hundreds of pictures of him because that's my mom. I mean, here's the thing: when we were down in Disney World in January, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before any of us go on vacation, you always hear from mom, make sure you send pictures, right? We're down there, and while we're down there, there would be like, we'd be there half the day and not send a picture to mom. And she'd be like, pictures, texting me and Margie. My little brother, when she does it to him, he'll like take a picture of the floor, take a picture of a chair.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. Tina's grandma's stream. I'll have to check that out. So
Yeah, it's a good memory.
right.
There's still a lot of stuff that I want to do before we actually move down to Florida. There's a couple of streams that I wanted to, or vlogs at least, that I want to do back home before I say goodbye to the Northeast. So that'll happen.
So was it warm there today?
It's about, yeah, it wasn't bad. So okay, so I was out from this morning. It was 18 degrees out. Okay, I live in upstate New York.
Right.
It's brutal. I walk out the house, 18 degrees, like about 9 o'clock. I had a meeting at our church. I was there until about 2 o'clock. I walk out at 2 o'clock, and it's like, and of course I'm all bundled up, and I'm sweltering as soon as I walk outside. The sun's blazing upon me, and I'm like sweating. Like, pull off layers, get in the car. Came home. I did a workout in. So I bought this weighted hula hoop. Not sure if you've seen my Facebook stories or whatever, but
I haven't seen that.
so it's a weighted. It's like a hula hoop, but it's got like it's like a skip it for your waist.
I
So
think
we've
I know
been
what
calling
you're
it
talking about. I
a
think
hip
my
it.
daughter has one. I think my
Yeah.
daughter has
Yeah,
one.
they're really got really big from TikTok, and they
Right.
just kind of carried over. And now I've gotten a lot of people in the community interested in it because I used it for 4 days and I dropped 2 pounds.
Oh wow.
It's because it's a cardio workout, but it's like you're moving your whole body. It's getting you to move, but it's something that's fun.
Right.
So I did a workout. Usually I just do it a jeans and a t-shirt, and I was sweltering. So I had to put like my workout shorts on and with the t-shirt, and then I was still sweating because I'm like, I'm not normally sweating. Well, I realized it was 41 degrees today, and it was 41 degrees in upstate New York. It's like a sauna. So it's like tomorrow's going to be 64 degrees.
Yeah,
So we're like,
it got to 73 degrees today.
oh, it's coming my way. So thank you for that. I'm not going to complain.
I was out there delivering mail today, and I'm like, I could have got away with shorts.
Oh, that's awesome, though. Do you guys still have snow there, or did it all melt?
No, it's all melted. We've had people like come from different cities to help, and they're like, I don't understand. You guys still have snow around here, and I'm like, I'm wondering if it's because we're higher up.
Oh yeah.
You can't tell that it's a higher elevation, but we sit at like the top of the valley, where everybody's at the bottom of the valley. And I wonder if that's what it is, but no, I mean, there's like places where they've like pushed the snow over the side, and it might be a pile like that big. You'll still see, but otherwise it's completely gone.
Yeah, they take all of our excess snow and they dump it in the Walmart parking lot.
Right.
So like these huge mounds,
Right.
and then you walk into the into the town, whatever the residential areas, and it's like there's no snow. Well, it's because I took it and dumped it in the Walmart parking lot.
Right. And then last week was the 5th time I've been bit by a dog since I've been doing this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Wait, so that's not just like a movie myth, that actually really does happen in real life?
I mean, you got to think about it. We are going into areas, and dogs are territorial. So I don't blame the dog, but if the dog's not in their yard and come running at me in somebody else's yard, then that's when I blame the dog.
So how are you not petrified? Like, I'm petrified of stray dogs.
I get bit because I tried to give a dog a chance. I do. I'm like, I'm going to give you a chance. I don't think you're going to bite me. And there were 2 of them this time. And I mean, they weren't big dogs. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't think you're going to bite me. I ain't got time for this. And I turned around. And when I turned around, he jumped up and bit me on the back of the calf.
Ouch.
He broke skin, but didn't draw blood.
Now, can owners get in trouble for that, or is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think, what is it? If they get the cops called on them 3 times, the police called on them 3 times, they can take the dog away. If that doesn't happen, your home insurance can say you need to get rid of the dog, or we will cancel your home insurance.
Oh wow.
So
I did not know that.
I mean, we have a leash law, so there shouldn't be dogs running around the way it is. But what I love is there was one lady I had a certified letter for, and of course I have to have her sign, right? And she's got these dogs, and I had these rubber boots on because of being winter. And she's standing there, she goes, "Don't worry, they don't bite." And I'm like, "Ma'am, your dog is chewing on my ankle right now." I'm like, "Don't tell me your dog don't bite." And the owner, I could just feel the pressure. There was because of how thick the rubber boots were I was wearing. And I'm like,
my gosh.
Just keep your dogs in. Come out and sign. That's all you got to do.
I would have asked her if she had Denial River in her backyard.
Right. But yeah, I mean, everybody says their dogs don't bite. Well, yeah, they don't bite you.
Yeah. So that's their judgment. Well, they're not going to bite anybody else. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just weird. I mean, the this whole job is weird once you start really thinking about it. But then again, they pay me to walk around town. So that's like,
See, I couldn't do that in the cold. I would be miserable in the
the
cold.
funny thing is, when you get to where you're like snow that's knee deep,
Yeah.
then it becomes a problem because we don't use sidewalks. We walk through people's yards, right?
Yeah.
Because the closer you are to the house, the faster you can deliver and get down to the next one. Well,
Yep.
when you get it that deep, then you're using sidewalks, and that slows you down a lot.
Yeah.
Because now you're walking the sidewalk. But
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I've had dogs just come out of nowhere at me before too. So, but
Yeah, that's a whole lot of note for me.
well, I mean, one, you're supposed to always have your bag on you because when the
Right.
dog comes at you, you drop your bag. And then we always have dog spray. I've been asking for a dog warn over and over because I think they're more effective than the spray.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't try to spray directly at the dog at first. I try to spray like in front of them, so for
Yeah.
them to just get a waff of it.
Yep.
But if it's like if they're biting me, I'm spraying them. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. They shouldn't be biting.
But no, crazy. I actually just had evaluation on where I wanted to be, like here in the near future. I'm like, I want to be a PTF or a regular. And then they were like 5, 6, 7 years down the road. I said, carrying mail in Florida is what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. The sunshine.
Right,
Oh.
right. So you guys are talking about, so you're getting ready to, or are you planning on moving down there then?
Planning. As soon as everything, just some things that have to happen. So I can't leave this area
Right.
with my grandmother's house not either being sold or my uncle buying me out.
Okay.
Because it's half.
Right.
Because I can't afford to have 2 houses. I have to sell this one and I have to sell hers.
Right.
And then find a job down there. So once that house gets taken care of and everything gets situated, then we can work on this house and then find something down there and go. So we're hoping within a year. We'll see what happens. Sooner would be great. We'll see.
Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, Rod. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things Margie and I, we're talking about waiting till we pay this house off and then fix it up and then moving down there. So it's kind of like up in the air. Do we want to buy another house? Do we just want to rent? You know, sometimes you think, renting, you got to pay. You'll never pay it off. But then again, you don't have to do yard work. You don't have to do a lot of upkeep. It seems like it's a lot easier. So
yeah, absolutely.
So that's what. So do you have any idea what area you want to move into down there?
When we went down in November, we stayed on the west side of Disney.
Okay.
And it was really nice. Like it's not the touristy side.
Right.
It's just, and it was, the drive was peaceful. And I know that they're building up a lot of that over there, and it's not always going to be like that. And I get that, but we really did like that area. We also liked, Davenport-ish area.
Right.
Right around there. So, I mean,
my daughter lives over that way.
Yeah. There's options that I'm sure we wouldn't mind. We were thinking the same thing. It's like, do we want to rent first and then try to buy something? And a lot of people that are moving down now are saying that it's just easier for them to rent because houses are still going like crazy.
Right.
And it's so hard to get something. So, yeah, you never know. Who knows what the market's going to be like.
Right.
In a year from now, anyhow, especially with everything that's going on, but ouch. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Playing it by ear.
Yeah, I was telling my wife, and she's like, what area do you want to live in? I said, I do not want to live near a coast. I do not want an area that we have to evacuate because of a hurricane.
That's a good point.
I said, I'd rather live north of Orlando. And I said, I don't want to be right in Orlando. Hey, Chris, I'm like, hour, 45 minutes away is fine for me. And I told her, I said, I want to live in a town that's either the size of the town we live in now or the size of the town that she grew up in. Hey, Pete. So he says, Tina, can you give Tracy the message via here?
No, Chris will kick me off his show if I did that.
But yeah,
I figured out where I was.
But yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot to it whenever it goes down to moving down there. What you're, you know, how are you going to rent? Are you going to buy? And one of the other things I looked at was I seen like property, you know, that had nothing built on it that was going for pretty cheap. And then I found these houses in Texas, these modular houses in Texas that you could get pretty good size houses for like $1,800 or not $18,000.
Yeah.
And you put them up yourself.
I think it's incredible.
Yeah. So I mean, there's so many options down there, but I think the biggest thing about moving down there, hey, Carlos, I think the biggest thing about moving down there is no state taxes.
Yes, that is my favorite part. Especially when you come from Massachusetts and you move to New York and then you get sticker shock because there's nothing. It's worse than Massachusetts. I can't with these people. I can't. Sorry.
Yeah. We, you know, the thing was that I told my wife, I said, it's either Texas or Florida is what I told her. So I said, if it's not Florida, it'll definitely be Texas. But
yep.
But other than that, so what else is going on?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Honestly, it's just a mixed bag of everything. I started doing stuff in addition to doing my Wednesday show and then the guitar streams. I started doing so I did Vlogmas. It was my first successful Vlogmas.
Okay.
Like I actually carried through.
Right.
And then as a result of that, people were like, we would really like you to do a continuation of this, you know, excuse me, not just for Vlogmas. And so it led to this thing that I started doing called Conversations with God. And it's just sporadic. Okay. I have a thought in my head, you know, I'm always talking to God. My thing on my channel is that I say when I close, pray it out. What's the worst that could happen? You get an answer to prayer, because I'm always praying through my day and always talking to God through my day. And so when you're doing that, you get like these revelations. If you're reading, you know, a Bible and whatnot, things kind of hit you. And so things that I feel like led to share, like I wasn't going to do Vlogmas. December 1st hit and I just kind of felt like God was saying, do this. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And it was a huge success, and I had so many people commenting on it, and I just absolutely loved it. And that's how I knew I did something right. And so that's how Conversations with God got started. Right. So I started doing that. But I mean, that's really been it. And I know you've shifted some of your shows around, right? You were doing
like
wait, what were you doing before? It's been a while, Chris. It's been a while.
I'm still doing reaction videos.
Okay, so you're still doing reaction videos. Yeah. All right.
Just not as many as what I was.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing, was doing something there for a while, and then I kind of brought it back because I noticed that it's like, I don't know. Have you ever had like one of those videos you put out and it doesn't do well? And then it's like 3 months later, you go back and go, that's got 2,000 views on it. You're like,
I wish I had that experience, Chris.
I'm like, all right, can I repeat this again? So I tried it, and I'm watching this other video that I got where it's slowly growing just as well.
Nice.
So I'm like, you know what? I don't care if they're going to grow that, then allow those to grow, because those are just views you're getting that you're not getting from something else.
Yeah.
But no, you know, the thing is we usually do an adventure video once a week, and we haven't been doing those because we had so much footage from Disney World, which was kind of the reason to go to Disney World, is to get a lot of footage so that Margie and I can get a lot done, because I only get one day off a week.
Yeah.
So, but like tomorrow, we are moving everything out of my dining room into the living room, and
Hmm.
we're redoing the floor in the dining room. So,
Nice.
but if I had to go out and make a video, I wouldn't be able to do that. So because we're getting to the point where we're running out of stuff to do around here, where we're actually having to drive 3-4 hours away to find content.
Wow.
So
Wow.
because
Do you have anything coming up that
I
we
mean,
don't know about?
after I don't know how many more videos I have of Walt Disney World because I still have a lot. And
Yeah.
what's exciting is I found a new way to kind of. It'd been so long since I'd actually, because during the whole time of the pandemic, I couldn't get out and do anything. So it's like me relearning how to do it all over again. And
Yeah.
I actually learned a new way to do some vlogs, and we're starting to get into those for Disney while I was down there at Walt Disney World. So I'm kind of excited for that be coming here pretty soon. It's sort of how I did rides and everything like that.
Cool.
But yeah, that's one of the things, and I'm kind of excited for, and I can't wait to go out and do that. Now, my buddy, 40 years old, and he had a birthday party, and I hope I don't offend anybody, all right, because I don't mean to. But I looked at him and was like, dude, if you're 40 years old and you're still having a birthday party, usually that means there's something special about you. So I'm like 40 years old and having a birthday party. So, but he did bring out, he brought up one of the places that we've been wanting to go. And that was, we want to go up to the Ohio Reformatory where Shawshank Redemption was recorded.
Oh, wow.
So we want to go up there. The place is considered to be haunted, but there's been other movies shot there and everything like that. And we've been wanting to go there ever since we even started the channel. Yes, Jonathan Chong, Efteling. Efteling is one of those I have been reacting to that it's a theme park there in the Netherlands, and it's been rumored, there's no proof of it, that possibly Disney may have Walt Disney drew some inspiration from Efteling, might have been one of the parks for Disneyland.
Okay, I definitely was reading that as Eiffeling, and I was like, oh, is that like some French terminology that I don't know? Okay.
And then I've got these people from the Netherlands that are telling me you need to learn how to speak Dutch. I'm like, I just don't see any reason in speaking Dutch in the area I live in. But they're like, you need to come over. You need to come over. I'm like, if you see what the prices for a plane ticket is to go over there, it's just, I'm like,
crazy.
Oh, the prices for a plane ticket. I could drive to Disney World and have a great vacation.
Yeah. Seriously.
Well, maybe not. I mean, with gas prices going up, it might take up all that just to get to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, so photography. Have you been doing anything with photography here lately or anything?
Well, I took a whole bunch of pictures when we were at Disney World, but I did a wedding in October, and so I edit photos in order of how I take them.
Right.
But I will sneak a little bit, and I'll go and dabble, because when you're doing something consecutively for so long, it kind of gets like you get tunnel vision.
Oh yeah.
So break away from it, and so I've edited a couple of Disney photos. One I did at Galaxy's Edge, and it had just been raining, and the puddles were drying up so fast, but I just got this one puddle with the reflection of Millennium Falcon in it, and so it's one of my favorites. So I edited that, and but it's been working on this wedding photos, and I got half done. I got more than half done now. I think I have like about 25% left, if that, which I'll finish within the next couple of days. But it's my friend's wedding. She understands that everything happened with my grandmother, and I got set back and everything. So normally that doesn't happen, but I just editing, these photos are absolutely gorgeous. When it's cold out, it's kind of hard to get around and go and take photos out. But so, and my camera kind of sits here and is my streaming camera until I have a photo shoot.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so that's really what I've been up to. Just editing. I did some headshots of myself, and that
Right.
was the last photo shoot that I had, was just my own portraits.
So
But
when you're
yeah,
editing, are you like adding filters and stuff like that as well? Is that what you're doing, or maybe I?
no, I am. If I like a filter, I will try to figure out how. So they're called presets
Right.
in like Lightroom in Photoshop.
Yeah.
I'll try to figure out how it's done, and I'll try to replicate it myself. Or I have my own editing style, I guess.
Okay.
Um, I don't want to just, you don't like using filters or presets because number one, it doesn't work. It doesn't work consistently on every photo.
Right. Right.
So it's a lot of tweaking. But if I'm taking, if I have my photo, so like in Lightroom, I'll set certain settings that I know are going to be consistent throughout the entire album. I'll set it for the first photo, and then I'll do a batch edit, and
Right.
then I'll just do minor tweaking in each of the photos, that I decide, to edit and stuff. But on the phone, I'm the same way. Like, unless I really, really like a filter and I think it's going to work for a photo, I won't use it.
Okay.
I'll edit it myself. I use Snapseed for my phone photos. I
Okay.
love Snapseed, but I really love, I think it's, what is it called? Photo Director is, I'll use that first and I'll enhance, because it has like the each individual color adjustment that
Right.
you can go and adjust it yourself. And then I will go pop it into Snapseed and then do an edit, and it has a feature called HDR Escape, and I'll use that and then I'll tweak it. It's HDR is just basically like it takes a few different photos. Normally, what HDR is, it takes a few different photos, crunches them together to enhance the qualities of the photo. And the app, it just takes one photo and it tries to enhance the quality of the one photo, but it gives you different dimensions, and it's adjustable. But it's one of my favorite features. So I mean, that's really it. It's besides, I mean, I like to say that everything's been eventful. It's been pretty eventful, but it's also been kind of boring because it's just me. If I'm not sitting editing photos, cleaning out my collections, which,
Right.
pins, organizing Lego sets, and I got rid of a lot of my craft stuff, just because I don't have the space for it. If we move down and I'm able to have a craft room in Florida, then
Right.
I'll do that. But yeah.
So I like the manual way of digital editing as an art form, but photography I do is all done old fashioned, like using a real fisheye lens instead of digital edit afterwards. Awesome.
Yeah. Honestly, if you can nail the photo, so I edit in RAW, Jonathan. I wonder if you edit in RAW or JPEG. When you edit in RAW, you can get back it's hard to explain because I don't fully understand it. I just grasp it just a tiny bit. But if you take photos in JPEG, you lose a lot of the information of the photo because it's already processed. RAW photo is unprocessed, and so when you go into post-processing, you can add so much of that detail back in: the sharpness, the color saturations, the lens correction. So I use either a 50mm lens or a 15 to 30mm lens, which isn't exactly fisheye, but it's wide angle, and I still like it just as much. But in the wide angle lens, I use a lot for my Disney World photos. When I went this time, I rented a 24 to 70mm just so I could have a better range.
Oh, wow.
And I absolutely loved it. It's probably, once, save up enough money for it, it's going to be my go-to lens because it's got, wide, and then you can zoom into that 70mm, and it's just like the perfect lens for me. But yeah, was Jonathan saying I wanted to, because I want to talk. Yeah, I thought he was going to start talking about like the old fashioned, like
Yeah.
35, the
Yeah.
photo, the film processing,
Right.
the light room, the dark room and whatnot. I would love to be able to go back and do that kind of, yeah, Raw has more data you can see offhand. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Develop your own film.
Yeah, I would love to develop my own film. I could never deal with the chemicals because of my allergies
Right.
and everything, but the dream is still there.
So
You never know.
while you guys are talking about this, and I'll even ask this to Jonathan in there. All right, and understand they're no sponsor of mine. All right, but have you ever heard of Fiverr?
No.
No, Fiverr is a place where you can go and you can offer your services as a freelancer. And I'm wondering, maybe you should check it out and maybe edit other people's video or their photos for them. You know, you basically put up an example of yours and then you
Yeah.
charge how much for like whatever photo or whatever size of photo they want or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just a way to make a little bit of money on the side. I mean, I see they got people on there for thumbnails, YouTube thumbnails that are charging $5. I don't know if I trust somebody who's only charging $5 for a thumbnail.
Right. Yeah,
But I've seen where they've done $5 all the way up to almost $200-$300 for a thumbnail.
Yeah.
That I'm telling you, that $300 thumbnail, bro, blow that $5 thumbnail away. But
seriously.
Yeah. So, Jonathan says he's never heard of them. Yeah, I mean, it's been a big thing that's been going on for a while. Matter of fact, one of the things I've been looking into is doing a children's book for Amazon. And you don't even really have to do anything. I got a bot. But but yeah, I mean, I've seen ways of how to make a little side hustle by doing Amazon. I've seen ads for Fiverr when I'm playing games. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's amazing. I've seen YouTubers where they're doing what I said, where they'll be like, all right, I paid $100 for this thumbnail, or I paid $50 for this thumbnail, and I paid $5. Let's see. And sometimes the person who did $5 outdoes the person who did $100. It's like, so thanks, Mar.
Yeah, it's incredible. People don't realize it's like, so I'm on the more expensive side of photography for for my area.
I mean, you're going to
but I'm also competitive.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, then there are some that are like the $50 or $100 photographers.
Right.
And there's one of them, she's actually one of my friends. She's gotten really good. And I'm trying to tell her, charge what you're worth, because you're going to kill business for all of the rest of us.
Right.
Who, the market should be competitive. You're this good, you could be charging a heck of a lot more. Right. But people don't realize there's a reason why you have to charge what you're worth. You got to pay taxes, especially, hope that you're a legal tax-paying business. Got to pay taxes. There's equipment. You got repairs, services. Like, there's so much that goes into it that people don't realize.
Right.
They think it's just you pick up your camera and you just go and snap some photos. No. Right. There's a lot of hard work. When I was taking those pictures in Galaxy's Edge, Chris Dad Builds, you can see he's got photos of me laying on the ground getting different angles of capturing Millennium Falcon.
Right.
There's so much that goes into it. Blood, sweat, and tears, legit. People just, they don't realize it,
Right, right. So we got DWG Adventures come in. Rhonda, hello. She says, says, my friend is a high-end wedding photographer and he found his editor on there. The guy lives halfway around the world and edits so well. She also says, you post basic things up for $5 and they can add things on and get more for more money. Yeah, one guy I watched do it, he was an artist, and what he was taking was like people would send just white tennis shoes into him and just say, do what you can. And the guy would only be able to put himself up on Fiverr for a half an hour because he would get so many orders he couldn't handle it. And he'd have to pull it down. So
I gotta go look this up now.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just Fiverr. You go in there, I think all you do is apply and You know, I guess you set up a little. I mean, you can go through and check out everything they have on there. They have music, everything. But yeah, I just, you know, we were talking about it. You said photo editing. I'm like, right there, you can work a little side hustle there, make just a few dollars doing something you like doing.
I wouldn't mind that. That would be pretty cool. I had an Etsy shop for a while because I was making Mickey Mouse earrings.
Right.
But I closed that down for a bit until I can have, because I have no space. Like, I was constantly cluttering up my computer desk and it was driving me crazy. And I was like, I'm just going to put everything away for now. Break it back out again when, you know, when the time is right. But
right.
Yeah.
Rhonda says, yeah, my friend's editor isn't taking any more clients because they've got so many. But yeah. I could understand that too with not doing that anymore, especially if you guys are thinking about moving to Florida, having that kind of clutter around. I don't know if I opened up an Etsy store, if I would only be able just to sell Kakamuras. I don't know. And I mean, and if I do sell just Kakamuras, do I just name all of them Tina?
I think so. I think that's a feasible bet. I'm just saying. Just saying. I might be a little biased, but that's just me.
But yeah, you know, that we've thought about doing different stuff with the Etsy store. I know Heaven right now, she's doing she's taking what is that called? The stuff that you put together into a mold and it hardens.
Sculpey clay.
No. Resin.
Oh, resin.
Yeah, and she's doing dog tags. So she'll do like a little bone, and then she has a cricket, and then she puts the little label onto the little dog bone, and then she's learned how to make dog collars. So
that's impressive.
I don't know when she's going to do it, but I think she's going to open an Etsy store where she's doing this stuff. So you guys, if you guys are interested, I'll make sure that once she's open, we'll tell you where you can start looking at some of the stuff she puts out, because I know there's people out there like Mar, who's a dog lover. And, you know, if you have a cat, you know, that's your thing. But if you have one, she probably make you sell it. Where's that located? Amy, it's called Fiverr. I think it's just Fiverr.com. So yeah, I think Etsy's like one of the reasons why Disney had to step up its game on its merchandise too. So
yeah.
And I'm going to end up using Etsy to help redo this entire room. So because this entire room is going to look like, I want to theme it to Adventureland. So
that's going to look really cool though. Try to look while you're talking.
Well, I'm wanting to put put stuff in here that's from each ride in Adventureland. Probably Swiss Family Robinson won't make it. I don't know how I would do that unless I put like a tree limb hanging out of the wall. But Tina, guess what?
What, Chris?
We have almost hit time.
Wow.
Yeah, we're like a minute and a half away.
That flew. Thank you for having me. It's 2 R's, by the way. Fiverr.
Yes. So, no, thank you for coming on. And it was so great. I told you this was going to be awesome. I told you that.
It was a lot of fun. It was fun.
So next week's guest is Living the Magic, and it's Tommy and Stacy, and they're going to come on, and we'll probably talk a little bit about Give Kids the World Village and different stuff like that. They're a smaller YouTuber. I'm telling you what, Tina, I have been watching some of these smaller YouTubers doing streams from the park, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about the bigger ones, but I almost enjoy watching the smaller ones better.
Wow.
Because it's almost like you actually get to have a conversation with the person who's there live streaming.
Yeah.
But other than that, thank you so much for coming on, Tina. I really appreciate it. And once again, this isn't just a one-time thing. This is a thing because I just want to bring people in who I like to talk to, you know, and, you know, come in and catch up. So I'll probably ask you to be back on again.
Sure.
But other than that, thank you all. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for coming in and supporting Tina. If you haven't subscribed to Tina, go check her out. She's at T. Marie's Place, right?
Yep.
T. Marie's place, and she does some great stuff, and she's pretty cool to hang out with. But as for that, we'll see you next Saturday for That's a Wrap. Bye.